Welcome in. This is the Division II Women's Basketball Championship Selection Show from our NJCAA Network studio at the national headquarters in Charlotte. I'm Phil Constantino. Today, we will meet the bracket of 16. They're all district champions, all automatic qualifiers. They just want to know their fate, who they'll be playing. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at how this bracket is set up. Again, 16 teams. The games will be played March 15th to 19th in Port Huron, Michigan. And the top 4 seeds, let's meet them. The number 1 seed is Kirkwood, the North Central champions out of Region 11. The number 1 ranked team for 7 weeks this season. Number 10 in the country in scoring. They were the number 1 seed in the tournament last year before finishing 5th. And they make their 18th all-time appearance in the tournament in Division II, which ties for 2nd all-time. Kirkwood, the number 1 seed. The number 2 seed, Johnson County, 31-1 from Region 6. The Plains champions, making their 12th appearance all-time. The 2-time champions last won this tournament in 2015. 47 points per game allowed on average. Stellar defense. That's the 3rd best mark in the country. Number 3 seed, CCBC Essex. From Region 20, the Mid-Atlantic champions, 32-0. They will try and become the first unbeaten champion since Kirkwood went 37-0 to claim the title in 2017. They lead the nation in scoring, 102 points per game on average, their 2nd all-time tournament appearance. The number 4 seed, Illinois Central, the Central District champions. 18th tournament appearance for Illinois Central, 24-9 on the season. They are tied with Kirkwood for the 2nd most tournament appearances in Division II on average. Illinois Central, the number 4 seed. Kirkwood, the number 1 seed. Johnson County, the number 2 seed. CCBC Essex, the number 3 seed. And Illinois Central, the number 4 seed. Each of them, the top-seeded team in their respective quadrants. Now joined by the head coach of the number 1 seed, Kirkwood, Kim Moole. Coach, we did this last year. Welcome back. You're the number 1 seed again. 2 consecutive years, the number 1 seed. You finished 5th last year. What can you draw on from last year's tournament that might be able to help you this year?
Oh, last year was such a blur because of the COVID and everything. This year, it just seems like it's a little bit better situation for everybody. But the tournament was really good last year, but we just did not play one game very well and got beat. And then we won the next 3. So it's like we have some kids back, so that's a big part of it. And they'll be better. They know what they didn't get to do last year, so we'll see if that will help us.
Yeah. You, in your career, 33 years now, you're 5th all-time in wins in NJCAA women's basketball. What's led to the success? You've won 85% of your games in that period. That's incredible.
We just get kids to buy into what we're doing. We may not get the most talent, but, we just try to get them to buy into what we're doing and be accountable for what they got to do. And we get good players, and they just get better. I think that's a part of it, and then go on to the next step in their career. So we just get the Iowa flavor, I guess, get that Midwest work ethic, and then we get some kids from around the area, and they're usually pretty good kids, and they know a lot about our program, which helps.
Let's talk about some of them. Courtney Drake, leading scorer, shoots 48% from 3. That's a mind-boggling number. What makes her so good?
Her work ethic. I mean, she is in the gym every day. Everybody says, "Oh, she's a great shooter." I said, "Well, yeah, she should be, because she's in here every day." And she's a kid that is a small-town Iowa kid, a great family, and just a typical Iowa small town. And just basketball is important to her, and just doing well. and you never know she's even on the court. Like yesterday when we won it, she scored 6 points, but she's perfectly fine. But she hit 2 threes, two out of 4, so she's 50% yesterday. So she's that type of kid, just a real Iowa homegrown kid.
Ashley Tull, she's averaging almost a double-double for the season, 12 and 8 rebounds. How about her?
Same deal, small town, Northland High School. Probably her high school graduating class was probably maybe 100. I don't even know. It's really small. 1A, typical, works her butt off every day too. Both those two kids are 3-year kids too, which really, I tell you what, these 4-year coaches, they got it made coaching these kids more than 2 years, because it's like 3 years there. This was great this year because 3 of them we had back are like, you don't even have to talk to them. They just already do it. So
that's a rare situation in 2-year ball, though. What, for the players, not just for you, what does the experience of last year do for the players, you think?
I think it really helped them because it made them a little hungrier, because they got beat. Yeah. And, when we were 24-2 last year and you get beat in a big game in the season, I think it made them a little bit hungrier this year.
It seems like your identity, I asked you about 2 of your best players. Small town Iowa. Describe that a little bit more. Listen, I'm not from small town Iowa. Describe that a little bit more, what small town Iowa is like and how that has provided the identity for such success over all of these years.
I would say if you look at Iowa kids in general, if they go to the state tournament, like in Iowa, it is a big deal. It's really a big deal, and it's hard to explain unless you've experienced a state tournament. Because on Friday nights, Tuesday and Friday nights in small towns, everybody goes to the basketball game. They all go to the basketball game. It's the way it is. I don't care if they're little or old. They go there. They support their kids. They support the community, and it's a really important fabric of the state of Iowa. And that's not just women's basketball, but football. They support each other in small towns, and I think that's really a passion for our state, because we don't have a professional team at all. So I think our kids, Iowa kids, once you go to the state tournament, it's really a factor. And then when they go that next step, it kind of carries over, because we get fans. If we have a good local, which we do this year, our fan base is really good for a junior college, because they bring parents, grandparents, and the one year from Waterloo, they brought a bus down of 60 people.
Wow.
To watch one girl. So it's kind of an amazing deal in Iowa. It really is.
Yeah. Any concern about pressure, expectation? Obviously, you've built up a very successful program, #1 seed last year, but you didn't win it, finishing in 5th place. Any concern about handling that?
No, I really don't. We talk about it all the time. I think the pressure mounts when you don't talk about it. The people that go there, and then all of a sudden you're thrown into a situation where you have to win. Well, just expect to win. That's the way I look at it. I'd rather have the target on our back than not have a target at all. We've always done that here since we started the program in '89. It's like, I'd rather be where we are right now than where I was in '89. I'll tell you that.
We weren't doing Zoom calls in '89.
No, and we had 8 kids. So
how many people, how many assistant coaches are helping you with this Zoom call right now? Don't lie. 2?
2. I'd have 3, but he's gone. So.
Kim Mool, fun conversation. Congratulations on all the success last year, this year, and over just a very successful tenure. And good luck in the national tournament. Thank you for the time.
Hey, thanks a lot.
We've met the top 4 seeds. We will meet the remaining 12. Seeds 5 through 16 will learn their fate. Coming up next, you're watching the Division II Women's Basketball Championship Selection Show on the NJCAA Network.
Over 30 majors in 4 divisions.
Nursing, education, criminal justice,
exercise science.
This is one of the very few schools to honor leadership
with scholarship.
Our students go out into the world with confidence.
I know who I am.
Pfeiffer has it all. The only thing that's missing is you.
Welcome back in. This is the NJCAA Division II Women's Basketball Championship Selection Show. I'm Phil Constantino. We met the top 4 seeds. Here they are again. The number 1 seed, Kirkwood. The number 2 seed, Johnson County. The number 3 seed, unbeaten CCBC Essex. And the number 4 seed is Illinois Central. Let's meet the remaining seeds and the first round matchups. The number 16 seed that will take on Kirkwood is Dakota, champions of the Northwest Plains District. 3rd time in the tournament for Dakota. They are led by Maria Moore, 15 points per game, and she shoots it 34% from deep. They average 9 3-point field goal makes per game. That's the 116 matchup. The number 8 seed, North Central Missouri, Central Plains champions. 7th in the country, just shy of 83 points per game, and they spread it around really well. The 4th time in the tournament for North Central Missouri, and the 1st since 2014. And they will take on Niagara County, the East A champions. They're 5th in the country in scoring. Look at that celebration. And we should have a high-paced, high-scoring affair between these two. 3rd appearance in 4 years for Niagara County, but they're 0-2 all-time in the tournament. That's the top left quadrant. The number 13 seed, Muskegon, will take on Illinois Central. Muskegon is the Great Lakes A champion, 6th in the nation in scoring defense, and they enter this tournament on a 13-game winning streak. 2nd straight appearance, 3rd all-time for Muskegon. The number 5 seed, Bryant and Stratton, Wisconsin, the Midwest A champions, who are smoking hot entering this tournament. 14 straight wins, and they can fill it up. 100-plus points in each of the last 3 games. Bryant and Stratton will face Edison State, 29-0 this year, but from a known to be slightly weaker region, Region 12. They are the champions of the Great Lakes C. They are 1st in the nation in field goal percentage. They are 2nd in the nation in points per game. A great offensive team is in the tournament for the 3rd time. Moving to your top right quadrant, Cape Fear, the 15 seed, will take on Johnson County. Cape Fear, South Atlantic A champions. They beat Wake Tech in the district championship game. 74 points per game puts them top 20 in the country. That's the 2-15 matchup. The number 7 seed is Morton, the Midwest B champions. They enter this tournament on a 23-game winning streak, and they have the number 1 scoring defense in the country. 2nd tournament appearance. It's their 2nd straight as well. The number 10 seed is Union County, the East B champions. They lost to Niagara County in a 3-point game in the East District title game, but they're in as runners-up of that district. They're 6th in the nation in rebounds per game, and they're in the tournament for the 9th time. 1 quadrant left to fill out. The number 14 seed, Oakland, will take on CCBC Essex. The Raiders, Great Lakes B champions, and into this tournament for the very first time. One more matchup, the number 6 seed, Mesa, champions from the West District, making their 10th all-time tournament appearance. Mesa is 22-7 on the year. And Mesa will take on Wake Tech. They were runner-up to Cape Fear in the South Atlantic District, but they are in as the B champion. Second consecutive appearance in this tournament for Wake Tech. They opened the season 17-0, 25-2 on this campaign. Wake Tech is the 11 seed and our final team to meet in this bracket. So here is the full 2022 Division II Women's Championship bracket. First round games will be played on March 15th and 16th. Quarterfinal games March 16th and 17th. Semifinals on the 18th. And the championship game 7:30 p.m. Eastern on March 19th. All of these games you can watch live right here on the NJCAA network. Stay with us because coming up next, this bracket will be explained by Tony Tompkins. He is the committee chair for D2 women's basketball. That next as we continue on the Selection Show here on the NJCAA network.
The landscape of sports is changing. AI is the next evolution. We're bringing it to fields and gyms everywhere with Huddle Focus. Just mount it, set it, and forget it. Multiple lenses, AI player tracking, automatic recording, or record on the fly with the Focus app. Instant uploads and flexible live streaming options. AI is changing sports. Use it to your advantage. Visit huddle.com/focus today.
We are now joined by Tony Tompkins. He is in his first year as chair of the Division II Women's Basketball Selection Committee. He is the athletic director from Kansas City, Kansas. Tony, welcome. You're number one as the chair, and I think you have some tough decisions to make right at the top. Let's start there. The top three teams in this bracket. Kirkwood, number one, from Region 11, 32-1. Johnson County, number two, from Region 6, 31-1. CCBC Essex, 32-0 from Region 20. Of those three, all with stellar records, why Kirkwood number one?
Really had to do with the overall body of work with Kirkwood. There was some discussion about Johnson possibly flipping them. But as throughout the rankings all year, we really try to keep it consistent. And I just didn't feel like it was justified moving Johnson to number one. CCBC always been the conversation as well. They're very competitive, but we just felt like with their strength of schedule, just felt like Kirkwood and Johnson were the top two, and then followed by CCBC Essex.
Can you give us a sense of the call? How long did the debate last? How much debate or division was there on the committee about that seating and putting Kirkwood number one?
Yeah, it was probably around about 5-10 minutes. Just having some discussion about just where to put those three.
Is 5-10 minutes a long time for that in your eyes, or no?
Yes, that's a long time. Yeah, it's a long time because we're looking up records, looking up common opponents, just also the history of the past tournaments as well. Just kind of doing our research.
Yeah, CCBC Essex at 32-0. You and I know if you've worked as an administrator or a coach in college athletics, 32-0. I don't care how weak the competition is, that's tough to do. But in your eyes, the committee's eyes, Region 11, Region 6, are they that much stronger than Region 20? Explain why 32-0 wasn't good enough to beat out Kirkwood or Johnson County for the top spot.
Yeah, I think we just really had to go with kind of past histories of the tournament. We do use that as part of our seating and our decision-making, as well as just the overall the strength of the leagues. Region 11, they've had multiple teams within the top 25. Same with Region 6. And we just felt like from top to bottom, just a little bit tougher region.
Was that the toughest debate, 1, 2, and 3? And if not, what was?
Honestly, the number 4 seed was the toughest.
Really?
Yeah, that's actually the toughest. We settled on that, like I said, after about 5 minutes or so with the top 3. But that number 4, 5, 6, that really took up the majority of the committee's time to try and seat those properly.
So why Illinois Central over Bryant and Stratton and Mesa for number 4?
Again, coming back to the strength of schedule with Illinois Central, they played just a very, very tough schedule all year from the get-go. And they're split with Kirkwood and defeating the number 4 team, which was Lincoln Land. We felt like that was a good enough resume to jump them into the 4 spot.
Kirkwood was the number 1 seed last year. Does their reputation linger at all in this year's discussion, or is the slate wiped completely clean?
You always have to think about it, but I try to go into year by year. In junior college, there's a high turnover, so we really try to look at the overall body of work. There is some consistency there with tradition, but from my perspective, we really try to keep an open view of it.
I want to ask about Edison State at 29-0, down at number 12 out of the 16 seeds from Region 12. Is that another case where the strength of schedule in the region isn't strong enough? What was it that, again, 29-0, unbeaten, and yet they're all the way in the bottom tier of the 16 seeds that are seeded in this bracket? Yeah,
well, we really dissected their schedule a lot, actually from the beginning throughout the year, actually, about who they played. There's some JV teams in there. There's non-affiliated NJCAA teams in there, even though they may be a little bit older. And then just with who they're playing on the Division II side, there just weren't that many quality wins that we felt was good enough to push them over the top.
Has the women's basketball committee in Division II considered exploring the at-large situation?
Yes, we would love to get that changed. We have a couple ideas about how to get that done. We want to stay with the D2 philosophy of region representation, but we also feel like in order to make our tournament tougher and also just to get the best teams in there, we need to explore getting at-larges. And we really try to approach this year's voting and rankings with that approach in mind.
How far away do you think that is? How many years down the road? Do you have any sense of that as the chair of the committee? Because ultimately your committee can decide on whether or not there is an expanded field or how the selection process may change.
Yeah, if it was up to committee, we would start it next year. But there's politics involved. There's other things. You got to get the men's side involved as well. We really don't want to have a different tournament than the D2 men have. So there are some things that it's not easy. It's not easy trying to change a mindset of the tournament. But Rod Love and his staff do a fantastic job of just answering questions and giving insight as well. And there's probably more things that we don't think about that are considered that may take some time. But I would love to, within the next couple of years, try to explore getting this tournament with some more representation from better teams.
What can you tell us about how that would potentially change the field? I mean, you're at 16 right now. Does it go to 24 quickly?
Yeah, that's our recommendation is doing a 24-team tournament, single elimination, which would do away with the consolation bracket. So that would be definitely a different mindset of what D2 has been in the past, but I definitely feel that it's time to do that.
And my understanding is that the women are a little bit further along in this discussion, the women's committee, than the men's committee is. Is that a correct understanding?
That is correct, yes.
But you would like to move together with the men's as well?
If we can. Yeah, if we can, that'd be great. But I'm also like, if we can do it on our own, let's do it on our own as well. So, but that would be up to the NJCAA.
What do you think that will add? Having at-larges.
Our at-larges, overall just competitiveness and just the ability for our top teams to be seen by college recruits. If we're having a stronger tournament, you will have more more Division I, Division II NAI schools going to the national tournament and viewing our student athletes. So really that is the theory behind what we're trying to make this a better tournament, is so that we have better opportunities for all of so especially these top teams that just quite don't maybe miss out on a region championship, not being able to see it at the national level.
Well, with or without at-larges, this year there are none. Seems like you have an exciting tournament on hand. at Port Huron, Michigan. Again, those top 3-4 seeds aren't divided by very much. Should be an interesting one. Tony Tompkins, the chair of the Division II Women's Basketball Selection Committee. Thank you for the time. The stress of the call is over, and all the best of luck at the tournament.
All right, thank you. Take care.
Thank you. One last check of the bracket. The host school, St. Clair County Community College, the games to be held at SC4 Fieldhouse in Port Huron, Michigan. The games to be played March 15th through 19th, and all of them available to watch on the NJCAA network. Kirkwood, the number 1 seed, Johnson County, the number 2 seed, CCBC Essex, the number 3 seed, and Illinois Central, the number 4 seed. They are the respective favorites in their quadrants. CCBC Essex, along with Edison State, hoping to become the first unbeaten champion since 2017. And that does it for this D2 Women's Basketball Championship Selection Show. Say thank you to our guests. We say thank you to our crew. And we say good luck to all of the participants. Thank you for joining us here on the NJCAA Network.